Hi, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Sunday night live stream. I'm ketogenic woman. My name is Anita, and I want to welcome you here. I've been doing this for a number of years, following an animal-based ketogenic diet. I'll show you a picture of me at my top weight, so you know that I kind of understand what people are going through. And I was over 320 pounds there. I stopped weighing myself, so I'm not exactly sure where I ended up, but that was the old me. And oops, what have I done here? I have okay, there we go. There we go. I shouldn't be allowed to operate buttons sometimes. Okay, so tonight we are going to be talking about summer visits, traveling, whether that's flying, road trips, anything like that. I do want to just do a couple of housekeeping things first. We have our two moderators here. One is absent tonight due to a Father's Day thing. It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to anyone here who is a dad, has a dad, all that kind of thing. Welcome, and hopefully you gave your dad a call today, if you're not a dad yourself, or whatever. You know what I'm saying. So we have a giveaway tonight. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Bonnie and Melissa are the two moderators tonight. They are in the chat, providing links and greetings and that sort of thing. The giveaway is Carnivore Bars, and the word is meat. If you put meat in the comments, somebody will get these two bars. And I'm going to talk about these bars in a few minutes when we get to that part, because they are part of the travel talk that I'm going to do tonight. I used these when I went to Tennessee, and so they were handy for that. So, if it's your first time here, I did want to give those of you a special welcome. One thing that I really believe in is that food can be very healing. And when we get out all those processed foods, the carbs, the things that are in boxes and packages, the seed oils, all those things, sugar, flour, wheat, grains, anything like that, I feel like, well, Dr. Berry calls that the proper human diet, and I definitely agree with him. And food can be medicine. Food can be the strongest medicine. When I think about and see people who are on 6, 10 different prescriptions, they're getting worse and worse instead of better. Just the things I've seen people heal about themselves just by getting rid of all that other stuff that I mentioned. So I hope you stay tuned and listen to some of the questions and answers, and check out some of the other things going on in this community. I do have a video of the week. It is down in the video notes. It's an interview between, I think Cynthia Thurlow was interviewing Dr. Ben Bickman, who wrote the book, Why We Get Sick. That is an excellent book to check out. It's an amazing interview. It's one of the favorite ones I've seen in a while, where they cover all kinds of topics, like exactly the type of thing that, that we're talking about here, the proper human diet, cholesterol, all those things are covered. It is a long video, so if you have to do it in pieces, whatever, it's well worth it, but it is linked below, and I hope you give some thought to that later and give it a watch. So I also have a handout for you guys that I'm going to be referring to. Here it is here. It's just got some random, well, not so random. These are things that have helped me in the past. And I know you can't really read it there, depending on if you're on a phone or a TV or a big screen or whatever. But you can download this and have it. It's free. There's a link to download it. and it will give you some tips because we are in that we're in that season now where people are traveling. And so I've done some traveling already this year, and I've also had visitors stay with me just last week, in fact. And so, both of those have different types of challenges. So, I'm looking always for more ideas from you guys about what kind of tips you might have to share. So please feel free to share your tips in the comments. We got the live chat going on there. But let's talk about a few things that I've got here. I think that the easiest way to travel, and I've never had a problem staying on my program on road trips. And I've been on 2 or 3 road trips in the last couple of years and was able to stay carnivore. I had no problem with that. I went all the way to Texas last year with my son. And so we did all kinds of things. Here's one of my favorite travel foods. I have props today. These little cans of fishies. Not only are they a nutritional powerhouse, all of these, I brought these for Bonnie. These are cod livers, smoked oysters. All of these have this magical little pop lid. So when we were driving on the road, if there was, not a clean place to eat, or if it just wasn't convenient, sometimes you're driving and you're in the middle of nowhere. Couple of these cans just at a rest stop, side of the road, just sitting, leaning on your car. You just pop it open and eat away, and it's good. There's also, now this one doesn't have a pop-up can or pop-up lid, but I have seen similar things. This one is fairly clean. It's got beef, water, salt, sodium. And it is corned beef. So, there's different things you can get. Spam, it's got the little key. That one's a little more challenging to open. It's got that key that you have to go around. And yeah, it's not the most, it's not the most amazing meat source, but it works in a pinch if you've got nothing else, right? And you don't even need a can opener. So, there's things like that on a road trip that you can bring. You can also bring things. Like if you have a cooler, you can bring boiled eggs, cheese slices, some cooked burgers or whatever. There was a woman in the Facebook group who shared that she was in one of the national parks, and she was able to buy these things called cheese witches from the little store there. It's like I guess one of those camping stores or something. And literally it was cheese with salami inside. Like there was no sandwich, no bun, nothing like that. So it was 100% protein, and it just looked like it was called a cheese witch. And I thought that was really clever. Rotisserie chicken, you can stop at grocery stores there on the way. Fast food restaurants, for instance, McDonald's has those 100% ground beef patties. You can order patties. I ordered a few on my way to and from Texas. I've even done it here in Canada as well. You got purse bacon. You've got, all kinds of things that travel fairly easily on the road. And if you are the next thing on the list for the cheat sheet is motels and hotels. I mean, if you're camping, you're probably, you've got cooking utensils and some way to cook, like campfire. You can cook things. You can cook burgers. You can cook bacon. You can cook all kinds of things with a little campfire. In motels and hotels, a lot of times they have a restaurant. And I wanted to show you this. So this is a takeout plate of bacon. Last year when I was driving to Texas and back, my son and I, every hotel or motel that we stayed in on the way had we always made sure we got the free breakfast, and every one of them had bacon of some kind. And so I ate a lot of free bacon along the way, and I always brought a plate like that. I would just pile up the plate. Sometimes they had boiled eggs. I do want to say if you eat in, in the hotels or motels, their free breakfast, don't trust the scrambled eggs or the omelets. They not only do they taste kind of terrible, I'm sure that they're made with all kinds of other ingredients in there. Like I think someone has mentioned pancake batter in there. So there's usually added things in there that are not very good. I also used the motels. They on every floor they have an ice maker, and so I would fill these big Ziploc bags with ice, fresh every morning before we left, and throw them in the cooler. And so we had that. That would keep whatever food that we had for the day fresh. And yeah, so and they all have like a small little fridge, and they pretty much all have a microwave. You could heat something up. So, there's those sorts of things that that you can do along the way. Whether even just cheap motels have most of this stuff. So recently I flew, and I like to avoid airport, shopping in the, there's just too many temptations in the airport. So I try to just find a corner and get caught up on reading or something like that. Because I just find that there's all kinds of restaurants. You can get all kinds of, food, of course. But I took Carnivore Bars with me. And somebody tonight is going to get these 2 Carnivore Bars. So if you're planning a flight, you've got something on the way there, you've got something on the way back. That's why you're getting 2. So put meat into the comments to win that. And I found that they were perfectly fine. And it's interesting about the Carnivore Bars because, a lot of people tell me how expensive they are. I know that. But you can make your own pemmican, and that's what these are. So these are basically pemmican bars. I did hear a video. I watched a video where the owner was talking about the bars, and he said that if unopened, this should last 40 years. I think I might be long gone in 40 years. So I'm going to make sure I eat them. Well, not these. These are going to somebody. I'm going to make sure that I eat mine before that happens. But they will last a long time. And I've heard that people have made pemmican that can last up to 20 years. And, the secret for that to happen is to make sure you get all the moisture out of the ground beef or or sliced meat or whatever it is you're using. Has to be perfectly dry. So I believe I do have a link for making your own bar for those of you who don't want to pay whatever the cost is, for these types of bars. So you can make your own, and on some, depending on where you live, where you're flying to and from, you can certainly take them with you instead of the Carnivore Bar. So that's fine. So there's on Amazon, I have purchased Epic bars. I didn't have one here to show you, but if you look up Epic bars, some of them are fairly clean. And so that's an option. And I would also, if you're going to fly, I would, just to hedge your bets, I would eat before you go, and you can always consider fasting. Fasting is always an option in a situation like that. You didn't bring a bar with you, so you don't have anything. They're not going to give you anything good on the plane. It was always a choice between pretzels and cookies. Those were the 2 things they were offering on the plane. And from the purchase menu, it was like sandwiches. So there's not much to choose from there. So consider fasting. It's not, overly hard to do for the duration of a flight or even overnight. I left my town here on an 8 p.m. flight and didn't arrive at my destination until 9 a.m. the next morning. And I had one carnivore bar during that interval, and that's it. And it was fine. So, it's definitely doable. So the other thing is visits to your place, like short term things. Maybe you're going to someone's house for a cookout or a barbecue. Maybe you have people coming to your place. What are some of the things you can do to stay on track? So I had company in the house, and I did provide food. So I'll just pull up something here. So this was my typical spread for the company that I had. So what we have here is we have meat chips. I made meat chips out of ground beef. Every morning I cooked 3 packs of bacon, oven baked bacon. It's very easy to cook 3 packs at once in the oven until crispy. I put out some cheese, I put out boiled eggs, I put out butter, I put out, there you can see strawberries there, that was for the kids, so there was kids involved here. Those other things on the plate are egg loaf. So there's egg loaf that I made into loaf and egg loaf that I made into muffins. And that's what I offered up. So they quickly learned that if they wanted to have their usual stuff, that they would have to go to the store. And so they did bring other stuff for themselves, and that's up to them. I will provide the best that I can provide and what I would like to provide for my grandkids, but I can't really help what the parents will do, and so they will do what they do, and it's just the way it is. What can you do? All you can do is provide your best, set an example. Now, what if you're going to someone else's house and there's a cookout or a barbecue or something? Maybe some of you guys did that today, being that it's Father's Day. Put your experiences in the live chat. Let us know how you did. So there's 2 things I always do 100% of the time. I never skip these 2 things. I eat before I go. And it doesn't matter if I know, even if I know there's going to be meat there or something I can have. I eat before I go, and I also bring a plate of something. Maybe something like a charcuterie board, a big plate of bacon. You'd be surprised how fast that goes. A plate of deviled eggs, anything like that. And the reason that I eat before I go, even if I'm fairly confident there's going to be meat, and even if I'm bringing some meat, is that you don't know how many people are going to be there. So, you don't really know whether or not, the meat is going to be plain. It could be you could get there and realize everything's covered in sauce. And you just really don't want to do that. Although I certainly have, made some allowances for things like that. But it's always best to not be hungry and to have some backup just in case you're faced with an unexpected situation. And, the bottom line that I have found when I've been at these social types of events is that almost nobody really pays attention to what's on your plate. They really don't. Everybody's kind of concerned with their own, what they're doing and all that. And I have found that I don't really get approached about what's on my plate or what isn't on my plate, which would namely be everything else other than the meat. So I just feel like I think that it's very doable, and it's also your mindset too. So this can take a little bit of preparation, especially if you're going on a road trip, and long travels, things like that. And even just a visit or having visitors. I mean, there's always a certain amount of preparation, but I think the number one key is your mindset. I think if you really want to do something, like if you are really connected to your why, why are you doing this? Why are you keto or carnivore? Why are you eliminating those items? If you're secure in your why, and you're secure in your reasons for doing it, nothing really can stop you. I mean, you will either find something you can eat or you'll fast. You'll do that if you really want to. So that's why I'm saying that we actually have more control than we think we have. I do hear people say sometimes, well, I just didn't have any control. Well, unless somebody, forces something down your throat, you actually do have that control. You could fast. And that, I always keep that in the back of my mind. That is, for me, that's the last resort, because I like to eat. I really do want to eat. So, I try to keep that thought in the back of my mind that I have that choice. This choice is mine. There isn't a single person in this room that can make me eat that thing or whatever. And if I do eat that thing, it was my choice. I made that choice, and nobody's to blame but me. And there's been times when that has happened as well. So, if that does happen, then the best thing is to just forgive yourself and move on. I mean, that's what you have to do, because there's no going back. Beating yourself up isn't going to solve anything. It's not going to help your cause. Just forgive yourself, get right back on. Yeah, it's all doable, and I know it's challenging at this time of year, but it's challenging at other times of year too. I mean, if you think about, the holidays like Christmas and New Year's, and, I'm pretty sure that we did a similar live stream that sounded like this, except different situations, parties, entertaining, special dinners, that sort of thing. Now it's gatherings and beaches and camping and road trips, but the same issues are there and the same solutions. So I think that having support, ahead of time too, is a good thing. Like if you can talk to the people that you're going to be with and ask for their help, ask them to support you, that could go a long way as well. So just want to do a reminder about the Carnivore Bars. If you have not entered yet, or you're just stopping in now, put meat in the comments and you will have a chance to win that. I'm going to pop over now to the questions, because I can see that there are some comments and questions building up here. Okay, Julia. Watching from the ICU after heart surgery, maybe going home tomorrow doing well. Julia, oh my goodness. First of all, I'm, good luck with that recovery. Have some, I'm glad you're going home tomorrow, because the hospital food, I'm sure you already know. But, I hope you've got some help, that someone is going to help you make some food, help in your recovery, some good meat, keep your protein up. And but thank you for watching this. I mean, there's so many things you could be watching. I'm honored that you're watching me in the hospital. Get some of those doctors and nurses to to watch too. Okay, Sid, how do you get rid of excess skin from weight loss? Well, I don't know. I have excess skin. So some people can do it with fasting. They go the autophagy route where they do extended fasting, and that's supposed to recycle cells. So it really depends on your age, how much loose skin, that kind of thing. Other people have gone to, skin removal surgery. I mean, there's that too. If you check out Laura Spath, her channel, she's done that. I think within the last, it might have been a year ago that she did that, I want to say. That's a fairly drastic option, obviously. I don't think I don't think that's in the cards for me, even though I do have a fair bit of loose skin after losing 145 pounds. I also think that sometimes, give it some time. I don't know if I'm willing to do, week-long fasts or anything like that. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like even though my, there is plenty of loose skin, and I just feel like I feel so much better than I did when I weighed over 300 pounds that I'll take the loose skin. It's kind of like what do you call it, a battle scar or something. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I tend to always be fully clothed anyways, so I'm good there. It's going to be an individual choice for people whether they get some kind of surgery for it or not. But if you look into the extended fasting and autophagy, I mean, that's the thing I hear most often. I don't know if there's any other if there's any other ways to do it other than those two. Those of you who know, maybe mention it in the comments. So yeah, but I think a lot of this will have to do with your age, how much weight, that kind of thing as well. But thank you for your question. Dee Lee, thank you for the info. I want to order that book. Ben Bickman's book. It's a very good read if that's the book you're referring to. So thank you very much for that. For traveling, I always make several hard-boiled eggs for the plane travel days. Yeah, I don't really see anything wrong if you know that the airline allows that. There was a time when it was really maybe it's different in Canada, but I've had hassles with bringing food on the plane before, and so I always tend to bring something that is in a package. They won't argue about this, but they might argue about my baggie of something. I don't know. I've had it happen in the past. Bobby, just don't pop that top in the car and spill it. You're probably talking about the sardines, right? Or the mackerel, what I have here. Can you imagine smelling sardines for a few hundred miles? I think that's really good advice. That's why because I'm always the one that's driving, I feel like I would need to definitely pull over and get out of the car just in case something spills. And yeah, that is definitely a factor. I don't know if I would take sardines. Actually, I don't even know if I would take boiled eggs on a plane because when you peel them, that's going to release an odor. And sardines, although I believe it might have been Adrienne. I think Adrienne, she was on my channel last week from The Biggest Loser season 3. I think she said she took sardines on a plane once. How brave is that? I don't know if I can do that. But that's just me, and good for her for doing that. So yeah, thank you, Bobby, for that important tip. Okay, Carmen. I am camping, but I brought pre-cooked burgers, ground beef, and shredded chuck roast. That is perfect. I mean, camping, I love camping. Although I feel like I'm much more suited for a hotel bed now than I am on the ground these days. But I used to love camping when I was younger, and having stuff like that along just makes it better and easier, and so that's perfect. You did the right thing there. Just Susie's thoughts. I made an egg loaf yesterday for the first time. So good. I made another one today. Hubby and I ate it up yesterday. They are good. They're surprisingly good for what's in them. So for those of you who don't know, the egg loaf is just eggs, cream cheese, butter, and I think I added vanilla powder. And was it just those ingredients? Pinch of salt. I don't know. It's like 4 ingredients. It's so easy, and it's really good. It's surprisingly good for what it is. So if you haven't checked that out, give that a check out on my channel. For Zoo, Florida. I love the meat crackers you made. I tried them and they are so tasty. Yeah, I really like those too. Yesterday for my first meal of the day, I laid out a bunch of those meat crackers and I laid sardines on them and topped them with mustard. That was really good. I really like that. It was like sardines on a cracker. What's better than sardines by themselves? Sardines on a cracker. And it's good for other things too, not just, I'm just kidding about the sardines because I know a lot of people out there don't like them. I happen to like them, but if you don't, that's fine. We can still be friends. You can put cheese on those beef crackers. You can put egg salad on them. You can make all kinds of different, like a chicken dip or a shrimp dip or there's so many carnivore dips you can make. And scoop it up with those beef crackers. They are tasty. Bonnie says she made those meat chips and some jerky yesterday. Excellent. Jazzy Mama in Alaska will be flying to Anchorage for my Bible convention in July, but it's a quick flight. That's good. I'm not sure what our hotel offers, but I'll have sardines and Spam in my luggage, and Mom will have it too. Atta girl, I love that. Good for you. Yep, got to do what you got to do. Dee Lee, great topic, Anita. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Well, we're in that season, aren't we? I mean, the kids are getting out of school for those of you that have kids, or if you're like me, the kids are getting out of school and coming to visit you. And so it's good to be ready for that. Lisa Jane Carnivore. Oh, I love that name. It sounds very elegant. I love this topic. Thank you for being here and watching. Amy. Hi, Anita from the mountains of northern Arizona. Fires are better, but it's hot. Oh, yeah. I heard that you guys got some heat going on down there. Even in Ohio, Bonnie was telling me that it's in the 90s. We are at 7,000 feet here, not like the rest of Arizona. You look more amazing every week. Oh, thank you, Amy. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. Amy, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate the support. Okay. Just Jason Keto. Hey, Jason, how are you? Thank you again. Love this support as well. He has gifted some lucky person a membership on the channel. Thank you so much. That is so nice. Okay, Amy, what was your peak weight? Mine was 350. I'm 180 now, have lost 170, and you're 71. Oh my goodness. So when I was this weight, Amy, I think in this picture, I'm about 320, but I stopped weighing myself because it was so disheartening. And at the time it felt very hopeless. It felt like that was how it was going to be forever. And so yeah, I literally don't know. Maybe I only went up a few more pounds. But sometimes when we see, we get to a point, and I think it was probably around the time when I had a look at that picture, and that was around the time when I was like, oh, wow. Because we have a different perception of ourselves. It's like a dysmorphia, body dysmorphia of some kind, like where unless you see a picture that someone else has taken, sometimes you don't realize just, how far down you've fallen, or, you know, it's hard for me to explain it. Maybe some of you out there understand what I'm saying when I say this, but I didn't quite imagine that I was that big. And I remember one time at the doctor's office, when she left the room, she left my chart there. She left to go get something. And I looked at the chart and it said obese on my chart. I was really hurt when I saw that word. I thought, how could she say that about me? But I was. I mean, I was more way and above the technical, you know, whatever the range is for obese. I had far exceeded that, but I didn't see myself that way. So it was a shock. It was a shock. And that picture, that particular picture, was also a shock when I saw it. And you know, it's yeah, I don't know, maybe some of you can understand. Okay, Joanne, what's the better way to get back on track? Sardine fast, egg fast, beef butter, bacon and eggs. That's what BBBE stands for. Honestly, Joanne, I think those things are good to do when you're back on track. So it really depends. Like if you're, depends on if you've just been a little loosey-goosey lately and you just need something short-term to get your mindset back in the game. Those are all great. If you are doing keto, doing carnivore, and you are, say you're not, you want to be in ketosis, you've tested, your blood sugar is still too high, your ketones are non-existent, then sometimes one of those things can do it for you. Today I was just watching Kelly Hogan and Dr. Baugh's video, and now I'm all excited to do a sardine fast again. I'm probably going to do one next week. For me, the sardine fast was great for getting my GKI number to be outstanding. My ketones were way up after the 3 days, and my blood glucose was excellent. It was we have Canadian numbers here, so I'm going to say it was 4.2 or whatever. But I know you guys have different numbers in the States, a different way of expressing the numbers. So I kind of favor the sardine fast and the egg fast. The egg fast also is a good one because it's 85% fat and it is so limited. And same with the sardines, it's so limited in your choices. But the egg fast is you can do a little bit more, because there's recipes out there that you can make. It might be a little easier to follow. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I have heard a lot of people say that they don't know how to moderate. And for me, I think it's a bacon. Bacon is kind of a iffy food for me. I used to just always have it. I have it almost every day. And it got to the point where now I only have it once in a while because there's something about it that it's almost a binge food for me. So I don't know if you've heard about the lights. Some people talk about it. I know Kelly Hogan has talked about it on one of her videos. I think maybe Nisha Berry has talked about it. I've heard it a few times. The red light, yellow light, and green light foods. Bacon is a yellow light food for me. Whereas sugar, cupcakes, whatever, going to Tim Hortons, buying ice cream at the store, those things are red light foods. Bacon and cheese are yellow light. I mean, you don't have to proceed with caution, which is what a yellow light is. And green light, of course, is all meats and eggs for me, that kind of thing. Everyone will have their own set of light foods that are different, but unfortunately for me, it's bacon. So BBBE to me would just be beef, butter, eggs, no bacon. But all those things are effective. They're all effective. You just have to kind of know yourself. If you hate sardines, you're not going to do well, and so you'd choose the egg fast. If you're allergic to eggs, I've had people actually ask me this. They've actually, sent me a message. I'm allergic to eggs. Should I, still try the egg fast? No. No, you should not. No. So, you have to know yourself. You have to know what kind of foods you do well with and kind of take it from there. If you are new to all of this, though, those are not the things to really go to. Get all the stuff out of the house, out of your life. Get the seed oils, the processed carbs, grains, sugars, flours. Anything that's not a single ingredient whole food has to go. Get that under control first, and then you can start looking at these other things, as tweakers along the way. The basis of what you eat should be the proper human diet. And not everybody is carnivore. I'm carnivore. Not everybody is carnivore. Some people, do a clean keto vegetables and a little bit of berries and meat and fats, avocado, that sort of thing. Whole foods. I mean, that's the key here. And just get that, once you're stable there, those other, these little metabolic resets, they can be even fun to do with a bunch of people, or they can be a good way to boost your ketones, that kind of thing. So I hope that helps. Mark, I made your fish cakes Italian style with Parm Italian seasoning. That was great. Oh, awesome. Thank you for trying that. Danny, hi Danny. I made a big batch of meat chips yesterday from Eye Round. Yum. Yeah, I do like meat chips. Amy, are you or any of your listeners doing the Keto Alaska cruise in June of 25? Ports out of Seattle. My whole family is going. Wow, that is great for you, Amy. I hope to meet you on that cruise. I haven't officially signed up, but I did email, I can't remember her name now. Was it Debbie? I emailed somebody the other day, and she has sent me all the information, and I'm just in the process of looking it over and try to make a final decision in the next week or so. But that's pretty exciting. And one of the reasons that I am so interested in the cruise for next year is that for me, it's a short little jaunt over to Seattle to leave. Whereas if I, went on any of the other ones in the past, I'd have to go all the way, fly across the country to probably Florida or somewhere like that. And that's a, whole day's travel on both ends of the trip. So it's sounding good to me. And so far the speakers list also is sounding really good to me. So yeah, I'm definitely, I'm almost there. Bonnie, the sardine fast worked really well for me, but you must do it the correct way. I follow the Dr. Boz method and make sure you end full of sardines so you don't binge once the fast is over. Yes, you don't want to be one of those people that has 1 or 2 cans of sardines a day, and then you're ultra deprived at the end. I know, Kelly Hogan, she talks about how she does, I think she did 10 cans one day or something. I manage 5 or 6 in a day, so I applaud her for that. But yeah, you want to make sure you're eating enough. You're still feeding your body enough nutrition. Mary, I finally got to goal after losing 173 pounds at age 78. Love your channel, always jam-packed with helpful info. Mary, you are living proof to all these people that it is never too late. It is just never too late to change your life. 173 pounds. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that. Smiling for you. I didn't even know if there was such a thing as beef bacon. Yes, there is. I've had it once or twice. I might try the beef bacon depending on if it's clean. I have no problems with pork bacon though, but have family members that don't eat pork. Yeah, so beef bacon does exist. I can get it. It is twice as it was so expensive. Like, I'm shocked at how expensive beef bacon is. So I don't know. Yeah. So I didn't think when I tried it. I've tried it twice now from two different places. I just didn't feel, for me, I could live without it. There's other cuts of beef that I liked better. Like I got thin sliced brisket in my dehydrator today because I'm making my own beef bacon out of that. And I like that a lot. And there's so many cuts of beef that I love. And that's just, for some reason, it's not one of them. But if you can get a good one, I've heard some people say, oh, I bought this beef bacon from, whatever place it was. It's like in the States. You guys have so many more choices. And they loved it. They thought it was fantastic. So, it really is probably going to depend on where you get it from. But yeah, it is. Okay, Mark, this is a good question. I think a lot of my followers know, but not everybody knows why I went from keto to strict carnivore. So I was low carb in the beginning, and I did that before discovering keto. Like, I'm from the Atkins days in the 70s, I'm from way back when, and so we always did. Anytime I needed to lose weight back then, that would be kind of my go-to. Once I discovered how well it worked, I would just cut my carbs to 20 carbs. I would follow Atkins' induction plan. It always seemed to work for me. And then as I got older, things started to happen in my health and in my reactions to different foods. Things that I used to be able to do stopped working, and I went through a period of time where I didn't do anything, and that's where I ended up over 300 pounds. And it got to the point where almost everything in my body just hurt, and a lot of foods. I was on a medication for 15 years for acid reflux, 40 milligrams, I think, of Nexium per day. And back then, not knowing about searching out the root cause of something, like, why do I have this? What is causing it? And so I went from, when I had my, I guess I like to call it, it was almost like a come to Jesus moment, with my weight and my health. That's when I went low carb. Then I found out about keto, and I started following keto. With keto came a lot of keto treats. I found that I have difficulty moderating that kind of thing. So for me, it was no longer a clean type of Atkins induction, which probably would have been better for me than the keto that I was following, which was pretty dirty. And those treats, I was addicted to them. So I didn't at the time understand the addictive nature of my brain. And so I did lose weight. Yes. I mean, I lost about more than half my weight before I started struggling a little bit with keeping that going. And I would do carnivore challenges from time to time. I discovered Kelly Hogan about 10 years ago, long before she had YouTube and long before, the Facebook group that she was in, and long before I, was doing anything online as well. And so I thought, okay, it's a little far out there, it's a little extreme, but I'll do it for 30 days. And, just as sort of a cleanse or a challenge. And then I kept going, I would do my 30 days and then come back to keto because I really needed that keto brownie or whatever it was. And so, that kind of went on, and I, lose little bits of weight here and there. And it just got to a point where I just kept coming back to carnivore, and then more information was coming out. And by then you had all the, Dr. Baker was out there, and all the other different people were out there making the case for carnivore. And so that rabbit hole for me made me decide to do carnivore. And then suddenly, the weight started moving again, and the inflammation started. There was other things besides weight that were being fixed and healed. And I'm 66 years old. I'm on 0 medications. I'm more active and healthier than I've been in decades. I mean, I feel like, oh, I wish I had known this, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. But, I didn't. So it's really been just part of my journey. And, slowly I got there. Yeah. And so I kind of feel like for people, who a lot of people find carnivore through keto, or through low carb, and then other people just go straight over from standard American diet to carnivore. And I give those people that can do that, I give them a lot of credit. I don't know if I could have done that. I just don't know. But sometimes if you get desperate enough, you can do those sorts of things. So I think I just want to give, because we've got less than 10 minutes left. I can't believe how fast this hour went. I want to give one more shout to the giveaway, because we're going to give this away within the next few minutes. Someone is going to get these 2 carnivore bars. You can use them for your next trip. However, if you're going somewhere. I wanted to mention about the carnivore bars. So I like them stored in the fridge. I eat them cold from the fridge. I find that if they're too long out, they're a little soft for me. I like them firm, and they taste just a little bit better to me. Not that they taste bad or anything like that, but they are. They're not sweet or anything. Even the honey salted one is not sweet. If I hadn't seen the word honey on there, I would not have even known that there was any in it, because it's so very unsweet. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you that tip for whoever wins it. I'm just going to, okay, there's one last question here before we do the draw. Carmen. I am still addicted to the sweet things, and that is what I always slip up with. But I just get right back on the wagon again. I didn't bring any snack things with me this trip. Well, good for you, because that is something that a lot of people will struggle with. They will hang on to a few things, and I'm guilty of that as well. And, think that maybe that those things are okay. And sometimes we're just not ready to admit that they're not, or they may be a problem still. And even if it's not like something that outright triggers you, like I've heard people say, well, I don't need to give that up because it doesn't trigger me. And, I just don't know sometimes if I can make that judgment about myself, an outside observer, like somebody who doesn't have any skin in the game, could probably look at what I eat and make some observations and say, maybe if you gave up the, the dairy or or this or that and the other thing, your results might be moving along quicker. And I've had that happen to me. I've had, when I had some coaching, I had a couple of things pointed out to me, and I did give those items up, and most of them involve dairy. So I feel like sometimes, we hang on to these things, and when you're ready, you'll let go of it, and good for you for not bringing them with you. So we are 5 minutes left. There's a couple more questions here I want to get to, or comments. Karen, hi Karen. Hey there, Midwest peeps. I'm having a meetup in Naperville, Illinois this Saturday. Come join us. Go see Karen. I wish I was going. I would give anything to go and meet Karen because she just seems like such a fun person. So thanks, Karen, for sharing that. Jane, I love your channel. Fellow Canadian here. Hello there. Is there a Canadian shipping point for Element? Sadly, no. It all comes from the States. Yes, the exchange and shipping is a killer. Any difference ordering from your link? No, sadly. So the reason they even care about me is because most of my audience is from the US. Like, we're talking 90%. Otherwise, they probably would say, she's Canadian. Yeah, so I'm so sorry about that. There is no Canadian. Now, you can't, if you check Canadian Amazon, sometimes I see it showing up there. So do that and see if that is actually a better deal for you. It could very well be. So, but thanks for your question. Okay, let's go to the draw because we need to find out who won, and I need to tell them what to do. So we're gonna flip over there. Here we go. Who's it going to be? JLF. Oh, I better write this down because that's not an easy one to remember. JLF 3588. Okay. What I need you to do, JLF 3588, is to send an email over to ketogenicwoman@gmail.com and tell me, I need your address, I need your contact information, basically, your full address, name, all that stuff, so that I can mail these to you. You have won this GLF 3588. Thank you very much, everybody, for entering. And going to get these last couple of comments in here. Anita, you are right. We don't see ourselves like others do. Yeah, I think so. Jane says she's ordered from Amazon before, also a killer. Thank you for responding. Yeah, in fact, Canadian Amazon, sometimes for even really basic stuff, I can be shocked at the price. So anyways, that is all the questions that are for tonight. And we are pretty much right at the end here, but I would like to thank you guys for coming and spending your Sunday night. I hope you had a good Father's Day. Those of you that were out, maybe getting to see your dad or talk to your dad on the phone, or for those of you that are here that are dads, I think that is a good thing to do. So if you haven't called him yet, do so right after this, just to make sure that he knows that you thought about him. So everybody, now I'm just going to quickly, since we have 1 minute left, tell you about next week. Next week, I will be doing the live from my kitchen, and my guest will be Chef Patty. We're going to do kind of a tool talk episode. We're going to, show some of our favorite things in the kitchen, what we use, why we use them. She is full of information about proper tools and techniques, and she might critique some of my stuff, which makes me a little scared, but that's okay. That's okay. So I think it's going to be fun to be out there in the kitchen doing this. So it might be a little challenge technically, but we will handle it. And thank you so much for coming. See you guys next Sunday, and have a great rest of your Sunday night. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.